Welcome back. Tonight I'm going to show you the hardware and software that I use to vibe code, and then I'm going to bring it all together and we're going to create a little app called Minimalist that's just a simple to-do list utilizing that hardware and software. Okay, in chapter 1, I'm going to show you guys how to set up the desktop, what I do. But first, let's talk about what I'm using for hardware. So for this test that I'm showing you guys, I'm using a Mac M4 desktop. It's just from Costco. I think it was like $579. The monitor is pretty cool too. I just bought a portable $69 monitor from Amazon. This is just for testing. My typical gear that I use is a MacBook Pro, like a 14-inch M5. It's super powerful, but I'm finding in testing of this that this Mac desktop M4, it's right there with my M5. I mean, it's pretty incredible. It's very portable, right? I can throw it in my backpack. I can take it to Starbucks just like a laptop. So it's pretty cool. The reason I use a Mac for vibe coding is because of Xcode. And I'll show you guys that in upcoming chapters. I like the ability to test my iPhone apps on the desktop using an emulator. I also have some Windows PCs, and I don't get that with the Windows PCs. I can test the Android emulators in Android Studio, but I can't test any of the iPhone apps. So that's why I use a Mac, and I just got used to it. Super powerful. I just love the new M5. It's my favorite laptop that's ever been created. But let's get started with looking at the desktop here. Okay, so the first thing I do, this is a fresh install. The only thing I've included that I've installed here is a Google Chrome so that I could run Riverside FM. So the first thing that I do is I go through and clean this desktop up because I'm not going to use a lot of these apps. So I'm going to get rid of Safari, right? I'm going to remove from Dock. I'm going to get rid of, I don't want to be interrupted, right? Get rid of that. I use Gmail. So we're going to remove that. I don't need maps. Okay. I actually keep pictures there. I don't need FaceTime. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to first get rid of all the stuff I don't use. I hate junk cluttering up my stuff. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start adding one by one what I deem my vibe code stack. And I'm going to show you guys that and what that looks like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think or what your stack looks like. I'm going to keep notes. I'm going to remove that. I don't need Apple TV right now. Okay. I do keep music. Love Paul McCartney. So I got to listen to my tunes while I vibe code. Okay. I keep that. iPhone mirroring, that can stay. There's my downloads. Okay. That's what I usually start out with. And then as you can see here, I'm going to add some things that are going to be right here, like terminal. Okay. So I'm going to load that. I'm going to dock it. Right here, keep in dock. That's going to be one that we're going to use. Now let's go and open up a new window here. All right. And let's go download our first application that we're going to use. And that's going to be Cursor AI. Okay. So for Cursor, the first thing you're going to do is go to cursor.com/download. And you'll see in the upper right corner, there's a download button. Click that and I'll get my download for Mac OS. And right here, I'm going to download it. I'm going to do a simple install. I'm going to add this to my toolbar. So let's see if that loaded yet. It's just about done. So let's go ahead and install this quick. All right, here we go. So the reason I like Cursor, it's my favorite IDE. I think anti-gravity is coming on strong. It's not quite there yet, and that's by Google. I think, over time they might catch Cursor, but right now Cursor's got such a big advantage. It's just so nice for vibe coding. Claude Code is fantastic also. For if you don't mind a command line interface. As far as Cursor goes, it's just fantastic because it just lays it all out in a nice planing mode. It just works. I have great results with it. So let's see if this is installed yet. Nope, that's under other. Nope. Let's see where we're at here. Did that not click? There we go. All right, just do a simple install on cursor. We'll add that. That's the first thing that I do. Okay, so now that should be loaded in applications under Launchpad. So let's go ahead and launch that. Okay, open. And we're going to add this, keep this in dock. Okay, I'm already signed in. Yes, log in. Go ahead, open cursor. Continue. Oh, this is important. Yeah, choose key bindings, VS Code. That's all fine. Chat language. There we go. Open cursor from terminal. Yep, that sounds good. All right, here we go. Okay, shell command cursor and successfully installed. All right, and that's about it. Cursor's pretty easy to set up. I will show you this in a little bit. Agent mode is fabulous. So there we go. We're all set there. Open project, and it's all functional. I've got that all set up. There we go. So that's our first one. So let's go ahead and make sure that's in the dock. Keep in dock. That's what we want. Okay. So now the next thing that we're going to go grab is Android Studio. Okay. And let me go ahead and show you how to download that. Android Studio download. This is a product by Google. Okay. There we go. Download and install Android Studio before you begin. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, there we go. Verify system requirements. It's actually just docs. Okay, here we go. So this is just at developer.android.com/studio. And there's all the legal. There we go. This is important. This is the Apple chip. I'm installing this on an M4. So let's wait for this to download. Now what Android Studio is going to do is it's going to be where we're going to install a plugin called Flutter. And what Flutter does is it enables you to create code for multiple operating systems at the same time. So you can create an iPhone application utilizing iOS. You can create an Android application. You can create a Chrome application, a Mac application, a Windows application, all by utilizing Flutter. And there is a Flutter plugin that we will have to install later on. And so let's see if it's still downloading. But let's wait for this to download and I'll come back. So I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Okay, now that we've downloaded Android Studio, let's go ahead and run the setup. Okay, choose next, standard. It's all good. Okay, let's accept that. You're going to have to also accept the other licensing agreement. Choose next. And then it's downloading everything. It's got about 370 there. And so what we're also going to do here is we're going to add this to our dock. Okay, now let me explain a little bit. Again, let me reiterate what we use Android Studio for. It's where I initially go in and set up the project. It sets up the folder structure and everything else into Flutter. Flutter is a Google plugin that Google has made. It uses Dart files, and you'll see in the future, the main file that we use is main.dart. So let's go ahead. While we're waiting for that, we've also downloaded anti-gravity, and let's go ahead and get started with that and see if we can't install that while we wait. What Google anti-gravity is it's like Cursor. It's just Google's version of it. It's not quite where Cursor is yet. It's very good. It just came out in November. I think long-term, Google's got a plan that they're going to try to catch Cursor and, try to pass them with anti-gravity. So we'll see if they're able to do that or not. It's not there yet, but what's nice about anti-gravity is it comes in the Google Workspace subscription, which is like $17 a month. And so there it went and loaded that. So while Android Studio is loading, let's go ahead and also start setting up anti-gravity. Okay. And we're also going to add this to our dock. Okay. Let's do that right now as we wait for all this other stuff. Keep it in dock. All right. Now, a lot of times I run out of cursor tokens every month. So sometimes I'll do some of the light lifting inside anti-gravity, right? Because I get more tokens with anti-gravity. So let's go ahead and here we've got this, allow it. We'll do, I'm going to do just fresh just to show you guys. I'm not going to bring it in from cursor. I like dark mode myself. So it had some other options there. Extensions, we're going to keep it real basic here. Let's go ahead and we'll do normal, recommended, command line. We'll go ahead and do the install for that. Sign in with Google. And here we go. I'm going to sign into my Google account. Let's go ahead and sign that all up. Open anti-gravity. Accept the terms and conditions. Okay. Choose that. Log in with my Mac. And voila. There it is. Now, much like cursor, what you'll do, if you've seen some of my other videos, I start everything in Android Studio. I come over here, I choose open folder, and I've got a lot of other videos that show that, how to use anti-gravity. This video is just primarily to show you my stack and how I install it. Okay. So, I think anti-gravity has a great future. So there we go. We've got that. Perfect. And by the way, for the URL, I don't know that I said the URL, but it's just antigravity.google. So, or just Google anti-gravity and it'll pop up. Okay, let's see how that's going. That has got a lot. Android Studio. So we're gonna have to come back for that one. Let's see, what's the other stuff that we need? We got terminal. Oh, that's right. We've got a couple more. I use Whisper Flow, so that I can talk to my computer and not have to type everything into cursor. So let's see. I always forget how to spell there. I think it's something like this. I believe it's like that. It's a great product. Okay, let's download that for the Mac while we're waiting. Okay, let's continue with this, my Google account. All right, there it goes. It's loading. This is a pretty quick one. Oh, nope, that's just that did not download all the way yet. It's still working on it. So let's come back for some of these. We've got the wait on the Whisper Flow, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and finish the Android Studio install. Instead of wasting time here. So let's come back in a little bit. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Now Android Studio is loaded. And first thing you'll do is you'll go down to plugins and you'll see right here, you've got a Flutter plugin. We're going to choose install for that. Okay. I'll also show you where you can install the Flutter SDK kit. And I've actually installed both. Let's go ahead and restart the IDE, which is the Android Studio. Right there's new Flutter project. And then also, while we were away, anti-gravity finished installing. So right there, show that. And I also went out and installed Whisper Flow. So what Whisper Flow is, I think I mentioned before, but I can actually talk into the mic and it'll dictate. It's really nice because most of the IDEs nowadays use Agentic. So a lot of it is just talking to the mic. It's keyboarding everything for you as you're thinking about what program that you want to vibe code. And so I really do like Whisper Flow. It does a great job. So we've got the plugin loaded here. We got the new Flutter project. And let me show you where you download the Flutter SDK. Here we go. Download. Right here, install Flutter. All right, right there. You can try Flutter. We also utilize Firebase Studio. I like to keep everything inside the Google ecosystem. Firebase Studio is also a Flutter, or excuse me, is also a Google product. So here we go, download previous SDKs, and let's go ahead and get started. Install manually right here, and then this can choose your platform. Okay. So, and then what it'll do is it will actually walk you through. This is docs.flutter.dev install manual method, and it will show you right here how choose Mac OS or choose Windows if you're using Windows, and it will show you everything that you have to download and all your prerequisites. It'll say Xcode. So the Xcode is so that we can do the emulation of the iPhone. And so let's see if that's done yet. So there is the Xcode. We just grabbed that from the App Store right up here. And all you gotta do here is choose search for Xcode, choose install. In this case, we're gonna choose open. And all this is gonna do is set this up for the first time use. Okay. We're gonna choose that. Select the components you want to get started with. I'll choose that. Let's choose iOS. We'll go ahead and just choose watch, download and install, and we'll let that install in the background while we're talking a little bit more about it. But let's go ahead and also dock it. Okay, right here. Keep it in dock. Continue. There we go. Basically, all that's going to do is going to use it for emulation mode. I test on different iPhones. This is really handy. This is the big reason I switched from a Windows PC to testing in a Mac environment, is primarily for Xcode. So I think it's great, comes in super handy. And let's get back to the Android Studio here. So the first thing we're going to do here is take a look at a new Flutter project. We'll just say, let's go ahead and do this. And we'll say this is just a test. This is case sensitive, by the way. Test project 1. All right. And let's just do a create. And it's going to set everything up for you, all your structures. It's going to ask you the first time that you do this. And here's all your folders, environments, everything's done for you. And there you go. So the SDK is, in my opinion, pretty important to install. I don't really know anyone who does this without installing the SDK. So it's going to be too long to show you how to install the SDK. It's right there. And let me go switch back to that. It's at docs.flutter.dev /install /manual. And you'll just go through all these requirements right here. And it's going to add Flutter to your path. It's going to choose your default shell for terminal. And it's pretty straightforward. So when I come back, I'm going to show you how it all fits together. And I'm going to show you an example little program that we can write. Okay. Now in chapter 2, let's bring it all together and show you guys at home how we utilize these tools. And we'll start by opening Android Studio. And then up here at the top, we got new Flutter project. And we're going to choose next. All right. This has to be lowercase, by the way. We're just going to say to-do list. Okay. To-do list. And I've done these before. So we'll just do to-do list 10. Down here, we're going to choose what we want it written in. We'll do Android, iOS, Linux, no. Mac OS, no. Web, yes. Windows, no. Okay. So right there, it's going to build the structure for us. And what Android Studio is really great at, it builds the nice structure for us, right? Then we can go into the IDE of our choosing, either anti-gravity or cursor, and then we just open up the existing project. And then the other thing that it does great is an emulator. So I'll show you that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and open anti-gravity. And then we're going to open up to-do list 10. Okay. So down here in Studio Projects, right? Here's to-do list 10. Okay, there we go. I want to switch to Agent Manager. So let's do that. There we go. And let me show you something, because I think this is kind of a bug. It always starts in whatever you had open last. And I don't know why that is. Maybe somebody from Google out there knows. So let's close the last project we're in, which was to-do list 7. And now you'll see it defaults to to-do list 10. Okay. And now we're going to tell it, we're going to use our whisper flow. Let's go ahead and open that up quick. Make sure that's open. There we go. Okay. So, and we're going to tell it here, write us a to-do list app utilizing Flutter. And we're going to write it for iOS, Android, and Chrome. We want it just a minimal design, minimalist. And let's go ahead and just do a real basic to-do list. For our example, ask me any questions that you have. Oh, also write a local database. I don't need to use Firebase, so just make it a local database. Okay, let's see what that does. That's the nice part about Whisper Flow right there, is it wrote all that quickly. And let's see if it can get through the jargon here. Okay, so that's right now, you see it here, it's going through the planning phase. It's going through, it's minimal, it's zeroing in. It says it's analyzing the project. Now this is nice. It's using the structure that we've already built, right, in Android Studio. It's going through there, using all of our folders. We don't have to create those or anything else. And then it's starting to create the Dart files for us, this main.dart. That's going to be what we're going to be using for the emulator. That's what we'll be calling. Okay. So it didn't ask us any questions. I've noticed that a lot with anti-gravity. It kind of just really doesn't really ask you much. All it does is just goes right into the coding. So this is going to be a straightforward one. I don't think it will have any problems with this. In the future, I'm going to write some stuff to show you guys how to use Firebase databases. That's the database that's owned by Google. That's really nice because you've got the authentication that you can utilize by Google. That's where you can actually have it log in with the Google, Facebook, the Apple ID. You've also got the Firebase database itself. And then you got the Firestore, which is the documents or the images like the PDFs or the image files. But for this one, all we're going to do is just do a little local database. And that's all it's going to do for this. So hopefully next week, in the middle of January, I'll have completed some Firebase database work for you guys and show you guys how to do that, how to vibe code that. So it's, as you can see here, it's going through the agent commands here. It's running everything. Right there. Is it done? Close to done. It's thinking, it's replacing main.dart. So that's your main file. That's what we'll be calling in Chrome. So, the other things that the anti-gravity can do, which is really nice, is it can actually test its own stuff. You'll see it. You can pop up a Chrome. You'll see it'll highlight it around the outside, so you know it's got control. It's just moving at the speed of light. It's just amazing how quick this is changing. In the old days when I used to code, the coding was the most difficult part, right? And now it's really the design and the quality, right? So here we go. It's popping this up. You see the blue bar around it. This is actually where it's testing its own stuff. No task yet. Okay. Very basic. Yeah, I don't think you can get any more minimalist than this. So what we could also do, and what I do need to add to, is Figma for the UI, right? So now here it's testing what task needs to be done. With Figma, you can kind of show it what a design that you'd like to see and what it'd look like. So this is pretty cool. I mean, it's telling itself to buy milk, right? So isn't that awesome? It's testing itself. And you know what's amazing is I didn't even remind it to test itself. It knew, right? There you go. It's working. So that piece looks like it's successful in the Chrome, and we can go test it in the other emulators to make sure those work. Right? It's going to test something else. I don't know what else it's testing. Let's see. Besides this, what I will also do at the end of this video is I'm going to add that MacBook desktop M4, a link to that one, and then also the monitor that I use for that on Amazon, if anybody's interested. The one I'm running right now is I have an M5. This is the new MacBook Pro. I love this thing. I got the 14-inch. It's been great. It's just really fast. It looks like this blue line's gone, so it means we're now done testing. So let's go back to anti-gravity, and there you go. Looks like, so here it goes. It tells you it set up a Hive local database, did it tested it. You can view the results in the MD file. This you could pull up in Obsidian if you'd like. So let's go ahead now and go back to, this is where we test in Android Studio, okay? And we've already seen the Chrome work, right? So let's go ahead and open an iOS simulator. And this is where it's going to open up Xcode that we also downloaded. So there it is. This is an iPhone 6e emulation right here. So what we're going to do, we got to-do list 10 here. Let's go look for the main.dart file. Okay, and we've got that. Let's go ahead and run that. Okay, so now that emulator is loaded. So that's where we loaded the Xcode. Remember that? Okay, let's go ahead and run this. And right there, it's going to test it on the iPhone. Let's go ahead and see this. And now here down on the left side, you'll see it's launching the main.dart file on the iPhone 16 in debug mode, running in the pod install, running the Xcode build. This is what I was really missing when I was doing this stuff on a Windows machine. This is why in October or November, I guess, I went out and got myself into the new MacBook Pro, because I was just tired of not being able to have this Xcode emulator. To me, it's really handy for writing these apps and testing. So there we go. There's a Flutter app loading. And here we go. Our minimalist design, right? Let's go ahead and say, it already bought us milk. Let's buy some cookies for the milk, right? There we go. And that's it. Voila. Done with our minimalist to-do list. All right, well, that wraps up chapter 2, which also wraps up the entire video. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe below. And if you guys got any questions or comments on anything that I did or anything about my tech stack, let me know. And I'd be happy to share that information with you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you found this stuff useful. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.